Funzela Ngobeni has ditched his blue DA regalia to join the People's Dialogue with Hurman Mashaba. He'll tell us why he's decided to leave the official opposition. And on the Jane Dutton Hour, the IEC and the UN Development Programme are looking at the impact of social media on election. We'll speak to the UN about this.
Question: how much will it cost you to come to court? 25,000 rands? 50,000 rands? 100,000 rands?
Answer: any of the above, if you're not with Clientele Legal. With Clientele Legal, it's covered in your monthly premium. You can afford a lawyer, a professional one, to protect you from unfair dismissals, uncontested divorce, unfair blacklisting, wrongful arrest, or bad service. For a small monthly fee, Clientele Legal will take care of your legal hassles for you. Our legal plans are now supported by Clientele Rewards.
Monthly savings on life's most valuable items. Plus, if you choose our silver rewards, you also get additional savings on dining, airtime and data, and movie tickets. It makes sense to be with Clientele Legal. Do the maths.
SMS rights to 42770 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
Baraka presents just one tablet of Baraka contains the nutrients to help provide your body with energy all day. Feel energized with Baraka.
A reminder of the top stories that we're tracking this hour. Allegations of speeding and overloading after 25 people are killed in a horrific bus crash in the Eastern Cape.
The deadly coronavirus spreads to more African countries and more deaths are reported in the United States.
More bad news about the state of the economy expected today with the release of the latest economic growth numbers.
And government departments will be meeting today to try and find a solution to the Cape Town refugee crisis. Now, the Democratic Alliance has lost two more senior members. Johannesburg chairperson and caucus leader Funzela Ngobeni and CEO Paul Boughey have resigned from the Democratic Alliance. They intend joining former Johannesburg Mayor Hurman Mashaba's political movement. Now, Ngobeni joins me in studio to discuss his decision. Mr. Ngobeni, thank you very much for your time. You know, the more I watch developments around this People's Dialogue, the more I'm reminded of late-night consultations ahead of the formation of COPE in 2008. How is this any different from that?
No, thank you for having me, Koli. Look, it's interesting that one of the top stories is talking about the economy and that we are on almost technical recession now. I think much as it was in 2008 when COPE was formed, as it is now, we still have almost the same challenges. That our country is moving towards the wrong direction. In fact, we are in trouble as we speak. And it needs really brave men and women to stand up and be counted. And I think one of the decisions, or at least one of the reasons why I'm moving from the DA is precisely because I really want to create and build an alternative organization with Dr. Hurman Mashaba that he has already initiated. Yeah.
Let me crystallize my question. Is this a coalition of the walking wounded, walking away from the DA?
Well, I don't know how you can characterize it, Toli, but it's really South Africans who are committed. I mean, I've worked with Dr. Mashaba for the last 3 years as the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. I've seen how he operates. I've seen how he's decisive. I've seen his vision and his decision making. You know, I think more than anything, Toli, South Africans knows what our challenges. We know, all of us, what our challenges, and we know solutions. But we have South Africans, and particularly those that are in leadership position, who are failing to take decisions, who are failing to be decisive, and who don't actually put the citizens at the forefront of what they are doing. Dr. Mashaba has demonstrated in the past 3 years in government that he's a man of implementation. He's a man of his word, right. And he's looking at innovative ways of making sure that we come out of the situation that we are in.
Speaking about South Africans, because that's who you are going to punt this new entity to, what do you say to those who expect an anti-establishment type of an entity? Simply put, they're going to be put off by seeing familiar faces in political circles that we have seen. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I think it's one of the things that Dr. Mashaba has come out very clear to say. I'm not looking for politicians. I'm not looking for politicians to join my initiative. I'm looking.
But he seems excited about the prospect of receiving yet more politicians, because I'll read you what he says in the statement, and I'm sorry to cut in. He says in that statement that announced your joining the movement that he expects in a few weeks or days to come that they are going to be joined, or he's going to be joined, and I quote, from across the political spectrum by people who come from such entities or from political parties that already exist.
Yeah, no, so, and the point I was driving to say is, was saying I'm not looking for politicians. I'm not looking only for politicians from political parties. I'm looking for ordinary citizens. I'm looking for people from the civil society. I'm looking for businessmen, people who have interest of the people at heart, to come and join us to actually build this initiative. And of course, politicians will come, like myself and others.
Should he accept those politicians who come?
Yes, he must expect them.
Should he accept?
Yes, of course. I mean, but obviously, as he said, there'll be a vetting process that will be followed to ensure that people that are joining the movement are not people that are coming, obviously, for opportunistic reasons, or at least running away from creating problems somewhere to come and create problems here. The South Africa doesn't have time for that. I think one of the reasons that people are asking me why I left the DA is because also it's an issue of whether the DA is really preoccupied with removing the ANC out of power. I've grown to realize that there seems to be another view in the DA that says we must be in opposition when the country is burning and people are asking for solutions to remove the ANC of power. Us in the DA are busy mulling over whether we should be in government or not. I think that time is over. It is clear that the ANC cannot be in government for an extra day. They need to be removed as tomorrow. But unfortunately, we don't have an alternative at the moment. And Dr. Mashaba has actually put his resources on the table. He's putting ideas. He's inviting South Africans from all walks of life to contribute into the solutions and be able to come up with an alternative.
Very quickly for me, when do we expect this new political party to be formally announced?
I'm excited that I'm starting today at People's Dialogue, and I'm looking forward to joining my colleagues who are already there. We're going to start working now in establishing structures across the province, and hopefully even going as far as Bloemfontein and Nelson Mandela Bay. At the end of June, we should have a new alternative that Youth Oli and other South Africans can come and join, so that we can be able to build a South Africa.
Let's see if South Africans are going to be excited excited by seeing familiar faces in this new entity and whether that is going to make them vote for you. Thank you very much for your time and good luck
Thank you so much.
on the new entity.